goodness, I've been so excited. I feel breathless. My mouth is dry. I'm nervous, and I have to say that I took copious notes because I just didn't want to forget anything. And I also didn't want to go over the time, and that 2 o'clock you were all trying to slip out the door. So, I'm trying to keep a condensed but meaningful message that has been on my heart to share. And I'm so grateful to do this. And so it's entitled Dancing with Alchemy. Alchemy is going to be flavored throughout this talk today, and I hope that this blesses you. Like any good talk, it's important that I tell you that you take what you need and you leave the rest, right? If this is resonant to you, if this is a message that brings you along on your journey to the evolution of your soul, then I am blessed, and I hope you will be too. So while physical alchemy, which is the main subject here, is alchemy, but physical alchemy deals with altering and transforming the properties of the physical world, right? But spiritual alchemy, this is connected to freeing our spiritual self from fears, from trauma, from limiting beliefs, and even lack of acceptance. Alchemy is an art of transforming consciously, taking nothing and making something, right? My mission is to offer you an opportunity to hear my words and hopefully assist you in your journey on your conscious transformation. I believe that this journey, we dance in awakening, in surrendering, in alchemizing, and in remembering. For I feel that remembering is, all of this actually, is the healing pathway to our own enlightenment. We live in a world that's rapidly changing, but this is a remarkable opportunity to embrace the power of this present moment. I heard that said this morning, and I say, that is so. So let's take a few minutes and just talk about, this is important for me to tell you about the third, the fourth, and the fifth dimension, the energies that are afoot. Let's talk about them. Let's embrace the elephant in the room, so to speak, and really sort of unpack this a bit. So we have been, in time immemorial, held in the density of the third dimension. This is in the denseness of our bodies and in contracted emotional energy as well. In a way, we've sort of been sleeping here. The third dimension is the energy that is a lower frequency, and it has a slower state of movement in the atmosphere. The third dimension is where suffering resides. This is because the lower frequencies are where contracted energy of fear, of ego, and of illusion reside. In the third dimension, we're more likely to experience the feelings of separation and of judgment. But when we move into the fourth dimension, and we are, I know that you're feeling this. This is where we start learning to function on earth as beings of unlimited possibility. We start opening up to this and begin to naturally detach with our attachment to money, to fame or popularity, that all of those things outside ourselves become a bit less important. The fourth dimension is an energy where we can learn to grow and to start unfolding. So now I'd like to share with you, because the fifth dimension is missing, and that is the best one of all. A page missing. Let me tell you about, now we're moving into the fifth dimension. And I get to alchemize this without notes. The fifth dimension is where we are expanded. The fifth dimension is the higher frequency of energy that we can literally access. And so we're at a place where love, grace, kindness, peace, joy, all of the high frequency energies that we want to expand in our life are held in the fifth dimensional energy. It's actually in us. We just need to tap in. We need to recognize, know, feel, and express the truth that we are these divine beings that have access to living the world from this expanded energy whose love and enlightenment flow down through, right? And so in this energy, we come into the awareness of it through the learning, through the fourth dimension, and then we tap in. We feel it, and then we come back. And then we tap in again, and only now it's more spacious. And this journey of really embracing fifth dimensional energy in this walk, in this physical form, in this time in history, is, from my lens that I look upon the world, significant. So here we are, in this time of great change, in this time where the evolution of the soul is rising, and then we're all understanding that the density of who we've been is no longer serving us. We are ready to start tapping in to showing up in the world from this expanded energy of the fifth dimension. It is, in a way, ascension. I feel like this talk about the ascension is coming doesn't mean we're going to loft out of these physical beings, but we're going to become more our light beings in this beautiful temple called the human condition, this body. And we'll be able to, as we practice, tap into that expanded energy in all steps, in every present moment of our life. Boy, I'm glad I forgot those notes. Because I think I just said it a little better than I wrote it. And I'm glad that this is in resonance to you. So what I would like to do is share with you something that I have taught through many years, studied it first deeply, have sunk into. My husband and I have a beautiful practice of always, always seeking. Are we present in this moment? Am I trapped in a story behind me? Am I worried about something ahead of me? Or can I be right here in this present moment? And when I can't, and believe me, it happens, my beautiful beloved, who's my Buddha guru, Doug, he's right here. Please say hello to him after church. You're going to want to meet Doug. He gives the best hugs in the world. In fact, they're called Doug hugs. People talk about them. He will say to me, this brilliant man, he will say to me, can you be okay with what is? Well, that's been kind of hard based on the things that have been happening in the country and around the world. But can I be okay with what is? And how do I find my place to that? I do believe that there's an energy of non-judgment and of acceptance and recognizing a powerful tool that is in the hearts in each and every one of us when we activate it. And it is this: when I change, the world around me changes. Please turn to the person next to you or behind you and let them know that when I change, the world around me changes. Go ahead, tell that to everybody. Right? When I change, the world around me changes. That's kind of fun to say. When I change, the world around me changes. When I change, the world around me changes. It means that the work that we have to do is so internal. It's not about trying to fix out here. When I'm in somebody else's business, it's not my business. I have to be okay with what is out there as I do the deep internal work of the evolution of my soul, which I believe with all of me that is why you chose to be here in this physical form, in this time in history. You had a part in it. We'll get to that. That's on a couple of pages. So I want to take you through a process that we do, that I teach, and I'm condensing it. I promise you I'll keep an eye on the time. Claire, when do I have to stop? What is the moment of departure? 10 more minutes? Holy cow. You're teasing, right? Oh, thank you. Okay. We're just going to talk, and if you have to go, I understand. But I hope you stay till the end, because it's a whole understanding that I hope blesses you. Once again, take what you need and leave the rest. I'm going to take you through 4 beautiful processes in a personal healing journey. The first one is the awakening. It's truly the beginning of the journey of your evolution of your soul. We recognize that stirring that's within us, that the inner knowing that we're maybe embracing a new perspective, like there's something I'm being called to right here. We recognize that we're now beginning to look at the world through a new lens. It's a recognition that we are understanding the power of the choice that we have to live fully and completely in the present moment. Okay, so we have been in time immemorial living in this energy of this dense third dimension. You may notice, though, because we are awakening, that you're tired of the world just happening to you. Do you get that? Something else is just happening to me. The world has been happening to me. When we come to the knowing, actually the gnosis is not just knowing, it's this deep, I know that I know energy that is so internal and so yours. Gnosis. Say that word. Put it into your vocabulary. Your gnosis, your knowing that you know. It's always 5th dimensional frequency, by the way, just letting you know. It's not knowing that you know all the bad stuff. Gnosis vibrates in a high frequency of the 5th dimension. We'll get more into that too, but just know that your gnosis tells you that no longer the world is happening to you. You're finding that the world is actually happening for you. That every hard and messy thing, that seemingly impossible experiences of our life are never meaningless crises, but rather opportunities to learn and to heal. Each and every hard thing is your teacher. All of them. And I know we can feel sometimes justified that, oh no, not that one. But I'm telling you, the one you say, oh no, not that one, that's the big teacher. Okay. We begin a self-observation and start to recognize the triggers and the emotions that are attached to the stories that we loop in our minds. Does that make sense? Well, I never get my way. I'm always at the end of the line. Nobody sees me. I'm not this, I'm not that. Just for some examples. I mean, and we all have that limiting belief that we sort of carry. But what if we can step into the next step in this 4-step process to begin to tend to those? So we've talked about awakening, and now it's time to talk about surrender. Surrender doesn't mean give up. I want to tell you a story about forgiveness that connects to surrender in such a seamless way. I had a dear friend that was pastor of a little church in Sisters, and he and I would meet for coffee from time to time because he was such a deep thinker and he was such a wordsmith. And to a singer-songwriter, a wordsmith is like one of your best friends because you're always getting good songwriting information when you talk to him. But this was a deep question. I called him and said, "Can I talk to you? I need to ask you a deep question that I'm struggling with." Because as a kid growing up in the Catholic Church, I was forgiven when I marched myself into a little box and said, "Thank you, Father, for I have sinned." This has been 4 days since my last confession. And then give a string of things that I was naughty, not nice as a little kid. And somehow I was forgiven. And so it distorted for me as an adult this idea of what the heck is forgiveness? What are the steps that I do? What's 1, 2, and 3 to get me to forgiveness? And am I doing this for everybody out there? And he stopped and he said, "Well, first of all, forgiveness is truly an inside job." Because the literal Greek translation of forgive is to let go. I said, let go. Let go of what? And he said, the stories. The stories that you hold that keep you justified in your pain and in your suffering. And the question is, how long do you want to suffer? How about you let go? How about you surrender? How about you move in the energy of forgiveness within? So we begin to recognize that all the stories that we tell ourselves and we tell others are triggers for our emotions that keep us in our suffering. Our contracted thoughts keep the emotions. And I just lost sound. Can you hear me?
No, I mean, we can hear you. Oh,
Did I run out of juice?
yeah, it looks like it's not lit up anymore, Nico. Okay, we'll just go to handheld.
Sure, I'll do a handheld.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, this is okay. Then I'm going to take this thing off because it's easily lit up.
Yeah.
This is actually a blessing, although we're now making a big deal of it. Sorry about that, everyone. Can you remember where I was?
Get all the
Oh,
way here.
for heaven's sake.
There we go.
Thank you. Okay.
Great.
Are we on? Thank you, Nico. All right, so I was speaking that the contracted thoughts keep our emotions alive and vice versa. Our thoughts and our emotions are connected to one another. When I'm thinking that I don't belong, an emotional state is coming up and it is causing me to suffer. They are attached. Can you agree that might be true? All right. So, could it be time to surrender? Could it be time to let go of the stories that keep those emotional states alive, well, and you suffering within you? And this is the beautiful work. Science has done many studies about the function of the brain and have proven that when we detach our stories from our emotions, the emotions begin to dissipate in about 90 seconds. They just begin to just fall away. It's an amazing thing when you put your mind and your intentions on this to actually experience it. First time might be a little hard, but then it becomes a natural process. Oh my gosh, I'm thinking that thought again. What am I feeling here? Oh, I am feeling unworthy. I'm feeling abandoned. You can tell me, but I'm giving you examples of what it could be. So what's a practice that we can do to actually help us to detach the thought and the emotion? Because I promise you, in detaching these, we heal. We become whole. So in my studies and practice, I do what is called a four-sided breath. In my daily meditation, I breathe in for the count of 4. I hold for a count of 4. I release for a count of 4. And I hold empty for a count of 4. Are you ready? Close your eyes. Let's together take a sweet and gentle, deep breath in through the nose for clearing and cleansing, releasing. And then release that breath with a soft sigh. Ah. And now we are going to begin the four-sided breath. And as we breathe this breath, all of our attention is on the mechanics of breathing. For we know that when we are breathing throughout our daily life, we aren't even noticing. Am I in? Am I breathing out? Am I in? No. The body breathes itself. The heart beats itself. The eyelashes and the eyelids blink on their own. So we have these different ways the body functions, but we are going to guide it. And in doing that, when a thought comes in as my attention is on my breath, I notice it for just a moment, and I let it go like a cloud wisping across the sky or a leaf upon a stream passing in non-judgment and acceptance. So we're going to begin our four-sided breath with a breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4. We hold 2, 3, 4.
We breathe out, 2, 3, 4. We hold empty, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Hold empty, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to quit counting and you're going to breathe. I'm just going to say breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Hold empty. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Hold empty. I'm going to let you do this in your stillness for 3 breaths. And 1 more. And now once again, let us breathe a breath of collective energy here in this room. A soft and gentle breath through the nose in, and a gentle sigh out. And now I want you to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And when you're ready, come back. Still on the mind and detaching from the story can be discovered through taking your attention to your breath and allowing your full attention there, so that when a story, a thought comes in your mind, it doesn't have to even be a bad story. It could be that shopping list. Notice it and let it go and return to the breath. And when we do this, every time you do this, and I strongly encourage you, if in your daily meditation, take 5 minutes to begin with the 4-sided breath and the stilling of the mind. Because every time you do this, you are strengthening the muscle for you to be able to take captive your mind. Turn to your neighbor and say, I'm taking captive my mind. I'm sorry, I do this a lot. I'm pretending like you're like we're on a retreat and I'm doing my retreat work. So I like to have some interaction, so I'm about ready to do another one too. Okay, so now we are simply able then to develop this ability to quiet our mind and sit with the emotion. And here's what I say in my process when I get to this point. Hello, emotion, who are you? Oh my gosh, it's abandonment. I'm just going to use that one because that's been a big one. Abandonment. 3 things. Emotions, abandonment, is not good or bad. They are just human reactions to life, and they are always okay. When we speak to a contracted emotion in this language, you're not good or bad. You're a human reaction to life, and it's always okay. It's transformative. It's allowing that emotion to continue to dissipate. Does that make sense? Can you see how that could be? Say with me. The emotion is not good or bad. It's a human reaction to life. And it's always okay. And when I get there, I realize that the emotion is beginning to dissipate. By identifying our emotions, we are creating within us emotional intelligence. I know what I'm feeling. I am present in this body. I see and understand this without judgment. It's not good or bad. It's a human reaction to life, and it's always okay. I'm really glad to see some of you writing that down, because it will assist you on your journey if you choose this path. So now we're coming to the nature of alchemy and how alchemizing works within this process. I invite you to recognize that we're all capable of being alchemists, first of all. what this means is whatever your current situation or challenge, you are being asked to see the possibility that exists within. This is an opportunity here for you to move into the next layer of your soul's growth and expression. Alchemy is the process to calling in this high frequency that I was speaking of: love, grace, kindness, compassion, on and on. Acceptance, gratitude, I could go on and on, which transmutes the contracted energy. So we're calling, so I've sat with the emotion, I've let my mind be still, I've spoken to it with absolutely unconditional love and no judgment, and now it's beginning to dissipate, and I call in the power of a fifth dimensional energy, which is residing within me. I'm just activating it. Maybe I'm going to call in unshakable peace, because when I'm in unshakable peace, there's nothing that's going to rock me off the center of it, right? The fifth dimensional energy absorbs the remnant of the emotion that's sitting there dissipating. It absorbs it and expands. So you're actually expanding your fifth dimensional energy by calling it in and replacing that contracted emotion with fifth dimensional energy. This is putting the fifth dimension of energy active in your body, active in your spirit, active in your mind, active in all aspects of being. And I hope that makes sense. That's what this fifth dimensional energy that you are calling in is all about. So if we awaken to possibility and recognize that the world is happening for us, not to us, if we surrender and let go of all that we find constricting us, and by the way, that is a big message for me. When I feel contracted or constricted, I know I have work to do. There is no one on this planet that can offend me, because if I am taking offense, it means there's something in me that needs work. Could you relate to that? Sometimes it's hard because we feel justified by outward actions that seem to us. But the truth is, like all things are, they're for us, not to us. They are this opportunity to heal. So we awaken, we surrender, we alchemize, and now we remember. We remember the soul within. So what if you, spirit being, high and lofty and enjoying absolute perfection, were invited, by way of a contract, by the way, to come into the human experience on that little blue ball down there called planet Earth. And you say, because you're powerful and all-knowing perfection spirit, yeah, I could do that. Feel all the emotions and be a human being I've always wanted. I thought that'd be fun. I can do it. No big deal. I'm doing it. You sign the contract. And you come in through this birth canal, and as you come in, you've forgotten the contract, you've forgotten where you were, and it is our job now to move through this world and remember the soul within, the soul that is us, the I am God presence that we all know and touch into. What if that's the story? It's one that sort of resonates with me. I see that I came in willingly. In this time in the history of humanity, do you know that you are necessary here in the fullness of who you are? In the birthing and rebirthing and expanding of your divine essence, the soul, the light, the spark that is you. And when we enter into the fifth dimension and live in a world of light and love, no matter, though the shadows are there, we embrace them, you see. Alchemize them and expand the alchemical charge of who we are. So in this place of remembering, let me hope that you remember the divine spark and essence that you are. Remember to celebrate your own awakening. Remember to let go of the things that don't serve you. Remember to still your mind and strengthen your ability to let go. Remember to sit with your emotions And remember to use the fifth dimensional energy to alchemize you to wholeness. Remember your healing journey. And remember the power of love. Thank you.